It's been said, opportunities are never lost. Someone will take the ones you miss. Many people look at me today and think I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, but my parents were high school dropouts who struggled to make ends meet. While Dad was earning a living at the auto factory, Mom stayed home trying to figure out where the money was coming from to pay the bills and the food for the next meal. They had higher ambitions for me, hoping one day I would work as a foreman at the car factory. But those weren't my dreams. I had a long-enduring passion to work in law enforcement one day. The decked-out police cars, starched uniforms, and the authority officers held fascinated me. Then, in August 1988, a high school friend was found raped and murdered. Her body left to decompose for 2 weeks in the sweltering summer heat. My motives changed. In early 1989, after hearing about an opening with the Havre de Grace Police Department, a small waterway town off the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland, I stopped by the station and picked up an application. The agency only had 33 officers, including the chief of police, and offered little by way of salary and benefits. But after being turned down by the Maryland State Police and the Department of Natural Resources, two agencies I had long dreamed to work for, Havre de Grace seemed like a good opportunity to get my footing. Out of 3 qualified candidates, I was the second pick and only made the cut after the first place candidate was also offered a job with the Maryland State Police. Within days, I was packing my bags and setting out for Annapolis, Maryland, where I would spend the next 6 months of my life completing the police academy for my certification. The academics were rigorous, especially the pre-calculus mathematical equations required to be memorized to complete the basic level of accident reconstruction. My greatest fears stemmed from my poor performance as a high school student. I was a B or C student at best, struggled with English, math, and science, and had a guidance counselor whose only suggestion for me was to go join the military, become a grunt, and die for your country, because you're not college material. I knuckled down, removed distractions from my life, and pressed through the mental and physical requirements for the academy. That June, I graduated, received my credentials, and became a certified police officer for the Havre de Grace Police Department. In 1991, I married my high school sweetheart, Michelle, and we moved to an apartment complex in Baltimore County, Maryland. It so happened that my upstairs neighbor was a homicide detective with the Baltimore County Police Department, and we soon come to know one another. I even shared with him how my high school friend, Therese Kimura, was brutally raped and murdered, and how my career ambition was to speak up for those who could not speak for themselves and ensure justice for those who were perishing. Something must have resonated with my words, because he encouraged me to apply to the Baltimore County Police Department and to use his name as a reference. Without hesitation, I jumped on the opportunity. 6 months later, I received a phone call from the Employment Division offering me a job under one condition. I had to complete the 6-month police academy again. When I had initially applied for the job, it was supposed to be their inaugural lateral officer program, where already certified officers completed a 2-week academy to become familiar with the administrative requirements, and then you were assigned to patrol. But it wasn't in the cards for me, and I had a decision to make. I chose to repeat the academy. After all, I was young enough and in good physical shape. Before I knew it, I was wearing dress blues in Dundalk, Maryland, assigned to the 86th recruit class, serving as the class president. I graduated from the Baltimore County Police Academy in October of 1991 and was assigned to the Patrol Division in North Point Precinct. Over the next 2 years, my supervisors took note of my innate approach at solving criminal investigations and recommended me to the Investigative Services Unit, the precinct-level detective squad. While investigating thefts, scams, and low-level drug offenses, headquarters posted an announcement for detectives for the property and persons sections of the Criminal Investigation Division. I was apprehensive, even self-deprecating, convincing myself I was not yet that level of a detective. I reluctantly made the internal application and began the interview process. In a few short months, I received an official notification that I was accepted to CID and assigned to the sex crimes unit. No sooner had I unpacked and set up my desk, I found myself in the sergeant's office, directed to take over the adjunct teaching responsibilities of instructing recruit classes in proper response to sex crimes investigations. The detective currently assigned the task was dying of cancer, and none of the other tenured detectives wanted the responsibility. The opportunity opened the door to me becoming a regular adjunct instructor at the police academy, teaching investigative courses while I performed my regular investigative routines as a CID detective. In time, I became a state-certified police instructor and experienced detective. As my experience grew, so did my opportunities. After 3 years in the sex crimes unit, I transferred to the robbery unit and ultimately to the homicide unit. It was one murder investigation that opened many doors of opportunities, the Wesley Person homicide case.